Welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to line everything up on this thing. When somebody tells you that you can't run a 96 L31, you'll say like a 93 even, late 80s with a serpentine belt, to put a 144 on one, if the engine's built right, yes you can. Probably put one on a stock engine. You don't put that much boost out, you know, just a little bit. But let's get into installing everything. Everything's going to be installed. Of course, then I'll disassemble it. I'll duplicate everything. A duplicator, I guess what it's called, the ceramic coating, the water pump, things that mount, different brackets and what all. But let's start on this thing and see what we get into. Let's see if it'll line up. Okay, we're gonna start with our drive. Now I did underdrive the accessories, and when you underdrive one, now you're going to take it to a machine shop and have them cut the drive a little bit, not much, because it's thick, but you don't want to cut too much off your drive. But you're going to have internally in your pulleys cut a little bit. Now there's several options you can go with both of these up. When you stick with your stock pulley or whatever, there's a block that you can put in it'll have your two halves, this here, then you got spacers that will go between your pulley and it. There's three of them, both up that way. Okay, that way will work fine. I mean, it's totally up to you how you want to do it. Okay, then you can use a machine block that will go in between it. On there, you get your machine block in there. Now, this one likes very little from touching, but I also, looking at it, I'm going to do a little bit more work on mine. I put a feeler gauge on it. I still got a little bitty gap here, which, I mean, it's nothing. You really got to look for it. By the time I cut that down, the block should be a little closer. I put some clay in there, see how close I am. And if I get it close to where I want to be, I'll go in and get a bushing or a washer or something real thin and put it in there to make up the difference. If not, that's all will rattle in there with your bolts tightened up on it. But right now, all we're doing is line everything up. Then we can always go back, modify everything, do what you have to do. So let's put our front. Some people call them sheaves, people call them pulleys. You know, your drive, whatever you want to call it. So let's line this up and just set it on there for right now. That front bolt is, I torque them at 70. You can torque them, I think it's 65, I think is what they go for. I need to check on the little ones to see what they are. I forgot right off the top of my head. I try to remember that stuff. But every bolt on here has a torque on it. If you got it torqued and it's torqued right, nothing should come off or get loose. You can, if you're a builder, you know, assembler, and done this, you can go by feel. You know what I mean? You know better. So let's just run these down right quick, and I'll just snug them so we can get on with this. with the birds out there. It is spring, you know. And I'm gonna cut this video down as much as I can, but still be able to show you what you're gonna go through when you put a 144 on it. So we have this on there, and you have to put your starter on and set your dial indicator up to check your run out and your wobble. Centering this up could be a pain. I'll do that later on prior to starting it on the stand. So right now we're just lining everything up. So let me grab the water pump, we'll put it on, and move on from there. If you go with the 86 water pump, everything will bolt up just fine. I need to check the and I don't have it with me, the 96 or so pump to see if there's any big changes as far as lineup. But put your 86 on there. I say I'm just gonna, all we're doing is line it up. Nothing's on here permanently till we get it all coated. Just snug it. Our next item we're gonna put on is the alternator bracket. Now the alternator bracket, you won't be able to use your 86 bracket, and I'm gonna show you why here in a second. But go ahead, and if you do have some tear downs, engine parts laying around or whatever, you're gonna need to get the 3/8 studded stud here. Find you one in your stuff. Then take off the front right side bolt, okay? And I say right side from we're sitting in the driver's seat, okay? So your front right side bolt, and you're gonna need make room for that alternator bracket. So there's not a bracket available. What I do is go online and look to find one that would bolt up either up here on top or down here. Finding this one, good luck. I mean, it's the scariest thing out there. So I got this one here. I found it is a chrome one. You can dechrome it. What are you gonna do? I mean, the chrome will come off easy. I cracked the chrome here a little bit, trying to adjust this to the stud there. We're not gonna put washers on anything right now. All we're doing is lining things up. Okay, and that bracket will fit where it needs to be at. And I'll probably stand here a little bit, try to get some of this stuff on. Right here. All right. So let's bolt our alternator up and see what we're at on it. This bracket combo comes with everything you'll need. Different spacers, different things you can use. If you need to. You may have to use anything, you know what I mean? You can see this going on here. A long-winded bolt. here's your differences on that alternator bracket. So this bolt here is not on there. The one that's on there is further over. So this bracket, your original 86 bracket, will not fit. You'll have to go with that, like I said, the bolt back here behind the intake on the other one. It won't fit, okay? There's the factory pulleys and all. Everything bolts up, but I wanted to show you that alternator bracket. And also, you got these self-tapping grounds up here, the little bolt, kind of like a self-tapping. You drill a hole and it'll thread itself. Get it back on there. So I got to drill a hole in that bracket for it to put the ground back on there. I want to try to keep it, you know, like it is supposed to, pretty much. There's some changes. We'll have room for those headers. I think we will. Gonna be close though. But anyway, there's your difference on your alternator. There's a bolt up here in the front. You could use that bolt or that stud. Either way you want to go with it. But that stud, it helped line up that the chrome bracket. With the bracket bolted straight to the pump, it pushed my eye of the bolt on the water pump too far back. So with that stud on there, with the nut, brought the alternator bracket out where to line up. Let me show you that again. So with the stud on there, I'll be able to push the bracket. There's a slide on it. Push it back a little further. You can't bolt it straight on there. That ear is too far back. It won't work. So you just gotta play with it, you know, get it where it's right. That kit, you know, it comes with it, and with this root over, it goes down to where it'll bolt on there. Don't forget to torque it back down to where it's supposed to be now. You need to torque it back. But your belts are going to be pretty close. Pretty close run there. It's gonna work. Should work out fine. Alright, so here's where things get tricky. They can be. This is where things start getting tricky. We ain't worried about lining the holes up right now. We're lining belts up. So we're here, and at this point we need to mount this bracket, but at the same time your supercharger drive goes on it, your belt tensioner. And of course the first thing you're going to do is you're going to grab it and bolt it up as is. Okay, you're going to bolt it up as is. But I'm going to stop right there to explain something to you. I don't think we're about to start the top boat yet. Anyway, when you install the drive, first off, and because when you buy the 144, it'll show you this, and just bolt it up here on the long finger water pump on the alternator bracket. If you do that, let's explain right here these pictures of what's going on at this point. Right here, you can see how close that belt comes to that tensioner. But once you put the spacers in there, of course, it pushes it out, gets it out of the way. Everything runs good. It'll all match up, run all right. So what we did was, I lined them up with that bolted up here and the belt on it. Grab the belt for this. with this on there, and the belt on it, I'm just going to do it like this right here. There was a gap. When you put your straight edge on your pulleys, there was a gap here. I'm thinking, you know, there's no spacer in the box. What did they use? What did they do? You know. So what I done was I took with the straight edge coming across, okay, and it don't have to be a just perfect straight. I use a little thing like this right here. So with this on here, I ran this across here. Get out of the way. Oops, everything's falling. And I had a gap, okay, with that alternator on there. It was it wasn't a big gap, but it was a little gap there. I'm like, uh-oh, we gotta figure out what we're gonna do to line this thing up. So I was digging through some old parts, and with this mounted up here, with my straight edge on there, I tried to drop something in here that would, when I put my straight edge on, it would come straight across it. That'll be the outside of my pulley, my drive. I found these in the box because he had a long bolt. They had a long bolt in the box and had like 4 of these on the front drive bolt, on your harmonic balancer bolt, when you crank. And I thought, well, I guess they was in there for a reason, because I know they didn't use it on the back here because I took it off the bolts. But that was a perfect fit. Had to go on there. Now I have to take these and cut them, square them up. All it is big spacers. And I'm a hoarder when it comes to some parts. I don't throw much away. I probably got this spacer out there smaller in the cat junk box out there. Let's bolt this up with the way it's going to be when I get done with it. Like I say, we're just bolting it up, then we'll take it back apart. I'll take the part off camera, of course. We'll sit and watch me go through all that. This up here where it goes. I'm just going to show you that it is possible to run the 96 Vortec, if you need to, on with the 144. Because this ain't no longer a Vortec engine. It's a block. It is an 880 block. It's a 96 880 block. I may have to get me a shallow socket, put that on here. Maybe not. Let's see what we got here. Here we go. Maybe. Won't fall. Boy, it is warm out here today. Tell you that. Okay, let me just throw something in that socket right here. Line this up. We'll start. Maybe some more in there. Did have a shallow out here. I guess I already put it back in the box. Not bad about that too. Putting up stuff I'm not using. I think everybody does sometimes. Let's go ahead and snug this down. See, we're not torquing anything, nothing like that yet. we're just starting things. Some in the front end. Okay. Let me back off that a little bit because I need to move that. Alright, at this point, put your alternator belt on. You're going to go around your tensioner there. Oh, did that tighten up on me? Maybe not. Anyway, here we go right there. Okay. Now when you put this on, if yours come with like a 7 groove or 1-2 mm grooves, put it on inside the alternator. You'll go on the inside part there. I'll fix you. You may not want to have it right, but you're going to. When you do run an underdrive, you are going to change your belt size. I'll try to put the part number and all down in the description if you do run the underdrive. If you stay with your normal pulleys, all factory stuff, you don't have to change nothing. Everything will bolt right up. Okay. Now, this I wasn't worried about. Okay. It lined up well because this pulley, your dry pulley, is the same distance. I measured them. Is your same distance as your factory pulley. All your gaps in between are the same. It'll bolt right up. Get more magger. Now let's move on to our supercharger lineup. Make sure it lines up. This is your belt tensioner. So you want to tighten it up to install the belt. Change the belt. You know, whatever you're going to do. Okay. Then you want to loosen it to get your tensioner. Here's where you can set your boost. Now, it's only going to give you so much boost. The tensioner is only going to go out so far, and then you're going to be straight on the spring, and that's going to give you all the boost you're going to get on these. They're not that other type pulley, I'm trying to think what the name of it is right now, that has the grooves in it. Although they make them, I've seen people run them. I hadn't heard any outcome on them. I know some builders that build the superchargers, they mention not to do it. So you do what you feel like you need to do. So I got this out a little bit. Therefore you got your spring tension. But you can loosen it if you want less boost. Like I say, if it starts wrapping up too much, because these are designed to slip. They don't have pop-off valves on them. Okay. All right, now take a little straight edge here, and we're right dead on this pulley. So we're straight here. Okay. Now this one here, you're going to be off on one. Well, actually, you're off on both of them. Okay. Now this pulley here is actually, it can move. It moves, so it'll walk with the pulleys. It does work. Okay. You can center it, but when you crank it up, it's probably going to turn a little bit. But with it centered, both pulleys are almost dead on straight with it. All got to do with the way it pulls. I wish there was a better design than this. Now, these are bad about cracking in the back. Alright, and what I've come up with, 2 things we could do. I got with our fab guys over at the fab shop, and I was going to build a bracket that goes behind it where these spacers are. If I do that, then we're kind of back to square, say, one, I guess. You'll have to mill the spacer down or find another spacer that'll make up the difference of your angle iron, because this has to be cut the exact shape on the back side of this. And of course, he talking about spot weld it, drill a hole in it, kind of butt spot weld it in it, tack it on it, whatever. The other thing, I've got this little 90 here, and this will help. That bracket comes with a hole in it. You can take and mount that bracket in here. Throw a picture up there for you. Temporary, just put them in there and take them back out, cut them, or find you some square spacers, you know, something that looks halfway decent. See what it looks like. And it'll bolt down on here, and that'll help support this bracket. But these are bad about breaking. So do what you can to support them. Well, whatever you can do with it. But when you first put this on, these belts here are real close. All right. But after you tighten everything down, everything stays, it falls in line. You got enough clearance there. And another way to check your belt from top to bottom is your gap here on the side. It should be the same from the bottom to the top. Just make sure they're all lined up. You got a pretty straight gap up it. Look down it. It should be okay. And then let me show you what that is. Okay. So here we are with this. This is all lined up. It's going to work. I'm not worried about the alternators of this pulley. It's the same measurements. It's factory out there. The main thing is lining up your belt drive, your supercharger drive, to this L31. So now we've gotten that far, and I'm just going to talk about the AC part. I was worried about the AC mounting. As you can see here in the picture, everything mounted up great. It's the belt. You're going to have to take your belt, and I ride it around, put a zip tie on it, because I'll take it down there, and they'll get me my belt measurement, what belt I need. Power steering pump's the same way. You'll have to take it, mount your power steering, cut your belt, wrap it around it, because you're underdriven, so that's going to throw everything off. If you stay with the factory, everything factory, you can have this thing bolted up, no time, and roll with it, you know. But we're going to experiment with this one. But anyway, that's pretty much, everybody's wondering how this is going to line up, and it does. We're going to see how it runs. I will have to do adjustment on this lower pulley. I don't feel like it's completely lined up square, so all I have to do is put a dial indicator on it, torque everything down, dial it in, and see how far off it is in and out, and then I'll put a dial on it with the belt off of it, of course, on the pulley itself, to see what side to side, if there's any. There may not be nothing. It may be good to go, but I've never bolted one up and it was perfect to roll. So anyway, hope you enjoyed this little bolt up. It wasn't much. It's just we're getting further on this thing. I'm not sure as far as No Name Nationals, if I get done with this and get it in there good, if I don't, I mean, no big thing. I make the next show, you know. But I'm pushing hard on it. I hope to get it done. I'd like to go. Of course, we got the channel's got to qualify yet. Still working on that. But I'm just documenting this build, you know. This is my 8th one, and the only documents I have on the other ones is pictures. You know, not really no videos, just pictures of them in the past. So I'm doing this so my kids can go back and look one day, see how crazy Dad was. You know what I mean? So anyway, hope you enjoyed it. And next week we're going to do the firing on it, building our wires, building them, and making that part where it's supposed to be. So I'm going to take this all back off. Like I say, coat my water pump, make sure all my brackets are done right, probably square these spacers back here, get those coated, and go from there. We'll see what happens next week. Thank y'all for watching.